Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be making a real-life wizard staff that'll shoot fire, water, and a whip. The first thing you need is a wooden pole. You can buy these for like $2 at Hobby Lobby. The next thing you need is a hydraulic pump. I got this one from a soap bottle and kind of modified it a bit. This is the same method I used when I made a web shooter, so you can watch that video after this one. Also, make sure to subscribe. Also, I should mention I duct taped this on with basic duct tape, and half of the wood is split out, but only at the top. So what you can do is you can take these little toys right here, the marble toys, where you drop the marble and it goes down a giant track. You know what I'm talking about. And slide it on into place and glue that. Now I'm going to wrap all of that into duct tape and cover up the bottom with hot glue so that way it's secure and watertight. After all that was done, I made this thing, and it's just a cut rubber band tied to a long string. This is about how long it all should be together. Line everything up, and about right here, you should nail in a small nail with a hammer. I also bent the nail down a little bit and tied the end of the rubber band to it. So this part should be able to stretch now. And since it's this long right now, it should be able to stretch beyond that point to like out here. Next, I cut in half this paper towel roll. Next, what I did is I taped it into a tube and threaded this string all the way through it. And I kind of had to make like an aglet type thing to get it all the way through because it was kind of hard. Now I need to put something relatively heavy and hot glue it or tape it onto the front of this. And then duct tape this onto the staff. So here it is. Basically, I just duct taped the roll onto here, and you should be able to pull this and let go when it comes back. Next, basically just duct tape this piece on, right underneath it. Now this is what it should look like. That part should be dangling. You should see the tube run through it, and it should come out the other side and still have some string and some rubber band. Now what you can do is flick the staff, and this part should go flying and then zoom back to its original place. So now this thing shoots water, and it can shoot projectiles that come back to you. All that's left is fire. Alright, so you'll need a small piece of like tubing. PVC pipe will work too. And I kind of marked out the area where I'm gonna glue this on. You can hot glue it or tape it. I'm actually gonna tape this one. And you just gotta tape it around here. And you also need a lighter. And the lighter will basically slide into here. It doesn't need to be a perfect fit. This is actually pretty loose because there's gonna be a bottom piece to secure it too. Keep in mind that the lighter should be above, very slightly, this piece, so you don't melt the plastic. Once you have your tube in place, slide the end of the long lighter through it until the top is a little bit over the edge of the hydraulic pump. Then come down here with a Sharpie and mark where the bottom is. You'll need this for later. Alright, so here it is so far. I also took a piece of duct taped the other side of the duct tape so it's not sticky and it's only sticky on the edges, and then wrapped it around here. So now you can just slide it in and slide it out. And once you push it in, it only goes in so far. And now the last things we have to do is make sure everything's watertight and decorate this thing. Now let's get into it. And that was when I was going to do an epic building montage, but then I realized that I broke my hot glue gun, so now I have to get a new one. But on the good side, I forgot to mention how you secure this thing into place. Because while it isn't too wobbly, and it usually fits in like that, nice and snug, it can still fall out. So how you keep it in place is on the back of most of these lighters, there's a rubber band right here, and you kind of just take it out and stretch it over the side, and then that'll hold it into place, like this. So here it is, look. Now it's way less wobbly. I mean, it's still wobbly, but it's not gonna fall down because it's got this rubber band in place right here all the way around it. And that should hold it into place. Lighters usually actually have two, but for some reason this one only had one. It may have been missing, it may have popped off, who knows. Next, I made this piece of cardboard and cut it out and cut out these two holes and taped them together. So now we have that. I also put on this PVC piping and it has glitter glue because I have a little sister. And then I also have this tape to hold this in place. So now it's kind of got like a little lip that makes it really hard for you to take out the lighter, but it is possible to take out the lighter. So that way when you're moving around the staff, it doesn't come out, but when you want to change out a new lighter, if that one runs out of butane, you can. Next, just to show you how the rest of this will work, I took off the cardboard and I just slid it off over the top. And the next thing we need to do is clog up the top of this because we haven't done that yet. And I recommend using hot glue. I highly recommend using hot glue. But since my hot glue gun is having issues right now, I can't use hot glue, so I'm probably going to have to find out some other way. Probably use tape. It doesn't really matter. Now, if you are planning on doing this, I recommend making everything waterproof first because it was painful to do. And I kind of had to like take apart literally everything, make it waterproof, reassemble it. Then when I realized that failed, take it apart again, waterproof it, and then finally it worked. It was really hard because I didn't have a hot glue gun. Use a hot glue gun. But anyway, here it is now, complete. I would honestly rate this project like a 7 in the hardness scale to make because everything has to be so compact. Now it's time for the most fun part. Decorating it. For me, I'm going to give it a spray paint and then wrap most of it in aluminum foil to sculpt parts that I want to stick out. Next, I spray painted this part and had tubing run all the way down for the string whip mechanism. Now I'm going to wrap the entire bottom part with paper and then decorate over that with aluminum foil to add the details, and I'm going to color it, so then I'll be done. Here it is. I actually had to re-waterproof the entire mechanism, take that part off again. But I also wrapped the entire paper in duct tape and spray painted over that to just make it way better to hold. I mean, paper isn't that cool. And now it's time to just do whatever I want with it. I can add detail, I can decorate it, but it works. Or at least that was what I was hoping. But it decided to not work. Decided to leak some more, and the rubber band decided to get untied. The entire top of it decided to fall off, and I actually had to scrap the entire whip mechanism idea because, let's be honest, there's no retying that rubber band. It's way down here at the bottom, and I'm not breaking all that. So now it just shoots fire and water, and the top of it doesn't fit on, so I have to redesign the entire top. But here's how I decorated it. I wrapped it like partially in aluminum foil and added like a spiral design, but at the bottom I looped it back up to make like an X. I like it. I also spiraled some on here. However, I'm going to have to undo all that spiral because now this thing doesn't fit on there. It's too big and it falls down because there's an entire mechanism missing now. So I need to change this and put it on, and then I'm going to show you what this thing can do. I understand this is a bit of a time jump, but oh boy, is this thing awesome. Here it is complete. It's a little bit different. I kept all the things in the middle the same, like the exact same. But the only difference is I've hidden the mechanism that allows you to shoot fire. In order to shoot the fire, there's a slit in this fabric right here that you stick your finger in, and that's the button to create the sparker. Then by pressing down right here, it shoots out the butane. And the water's pretty self-explanatory. You just kind of like squirt it. And if your lighter runs out of butane, what you can do is untie this bottom thing right here. Lift this out, and you'll be able to access all the needed components. You'll be able to swap out the lighter. You'll be able to take off the bottom cap and fill it up with water. Then you just close this down, wrap it back up, tie it, and you got yourself a staff. And I'm honestly impressed. This thing took a lot of time and effort and was really painful to make, but I have suggestions for if you're gonna make this. For one, don't just scratch the whip idea. If you're gonna do the whip idea, it works, it's cool, but don't use a rubber band, use elastic and make sure to tie it properly. Also, it took me an unnecessarily long amount of time to make the water hydraulic pump mechanism watertight. Usually what I do for the web shooter is I just put hot glue in all the tiny little crevices, and that made it waterproof, but I wasn't able to do that because I had a broken hot glue gun, and it put me through pain. So use a hot glue gun if you're going to be doing this, and besides that, everything works out fine. You can customize it however you want. Now let's test this thing.
You shall not pass!
And there you guys have it. Thank you guys for watching this video. It was a pain to make. I actually did this project like 3 months ago, and it's been a pain to edit too. So please like and subscribe. I really want this video to perform well. Bye.